everybody, how you doing? This is Jeremy Garko from CreativeCow.net. Today we're going to be talking about a product called MXF4mac and how it pertains to a P2 workflow within Final Cut Pro. MXF4mac allows for native DVC Pro HD editing and also carries over all relative P2 metadata. That's metadata that you could have started before you were shooting if you added the metadata to your camera, or this is metadata that you can edit after you're shooting. The product that we're going to be talking about most today is MXF4QT Import. MXF4QT allows for native DVC Pro HD editing, and it also allows for metadata transfer of AVC Intra material. But of course, AVC Intra is not real-time enabled within Final Cut, so we're going to have to discuss a little workaround for AVC Intra users, of which I am one of. So we'll get started. We'll get started with P2 CMS here, and we'll go to footage that was recently shot on a project that I've been working on. And you can see here it's A cam and B cam. All the B cam stuff is DVC Pro HD. We're just going to start there. This will take a minute here to load in. And what you're seeing right now is just basically all the native DVC Pro HD clips with all the native clip names there. And once that gets done, you can see here I've already went through and named all these. So these all had user clip names of just, global clip IDs that are assigned by your camera, and that's this thing here. And the reason why I'm using P2 CMS is that it's free and it's from Panasonic. You can also use other programs to edit metadata. Imagine Products has something out, and MXF4mac is also working on something called P2 Flow. You can read about that on their website, P2 Flow. It's something that's not released yet. It's coming soon. In the meantime, they have something called P2 Flow Contextual Menu, and I'll show you what that is in a little bit. But the P2 Flow is going to allow a lot of metadata editing and mapping and setting up within Final Cut Pro, and plus also offer a video preview and all kinds of cool stuff. But that's currently in development right now, so we can't really talk about it too much. So if you see here, we're in P2 CMS, and these are all the clips from the B cam. And I've already went through and named all the user clip names here. You can do that by right-clicking, click Property, and you'll see the user clip name is editable. All of these categories that have a star next to them are all editable. See, we can put in altitude here, longitude, latitude. If you have a P2 camera that is GPS enabled, this will all be filled in already. Scene number, take number, there's some news features here for reporter, purpose, object, all kinds of stuff. Basically, I use the user clip name. I'll use a shooter just in case there's two different cameras. It's easier to tell what's going on. The set location, this happened to be in China. The program name is here. So we can edit all of these all at once. If you select them all, choose property, and let's say we wanted to name the program Very Cool Project. Then all of those will get, you see here it says saving, all of those will get tagged in the XML file within the P2 folder itself. The XML file is located in the contents folder clip, and here's the XML file. You can check this out, open with text edit. And this is all the metadata that's stored with all of your P2 material, including frame rate, codec, all that stuff. Project name is in here somewhere. It's kind of hard to discern. If you know HTML, I'm sure you'd figure this out. But that's where it is, all stored in that XML file. Now, the advantage of using all this metadata is that all of this can transfer along to every project that you use this P2 media with. So it won't be buried just in your Final Cut file. It'll travel along with the footage, whether you move that footage to another machine, whether you use that footage within Avid, which MXF4QT allows for native DVC Pro HD editing between Avid and Final Cut, which I think is a first. I mean, you can use the exact same P2 media, which is pretty cool. So as you see here, I'm going to pick this clip called Foliage 1, double click it, we can play it here, and you'll see it plays in real time. But the cool thing about MXF, or I'm sorry, with P2 is that you can also store different metadata that already hasn't been added in. So let's say I wanted to store what they call a text memo. I can go here if this looks good and I say start here, and then I'll register that, and then you can see it pops up over here. And then let's say we can go along here and maybe we just want it to stop right around there. Put another text memo and put end here. Register. All right, so that all of that information gets stored in the XML file, and we'll have to remember this clip for later, foliage 01. So I've named all these clips. I'm ready to take it to Final Cut Pro, and what we need to do is go to the footage, and now I'll show you where MXF4mac comes into play, especially the Qt import here. So this folder contains a bunch of P2 folders, and these are folders are named just kind of in the order that we shot them. That's all there is. You can use whatever naming convention you want, but you can see these all have their own contents folder, and they're all ready to go here. So this folder that contains them, the contextual menu of MXF for Qt import, is smart enough to know that within this folder there are P2 folders, and you'll notice that down here you'll see these two little options, and this is what the contextual menu will do. The MXF4mac contextual menu you can set different types of file types, and we don't really have to worry about that too much with Final Cut Pro because it sees the right amount of metadata, or it sees the right type of file. So we don't have to do anything. You can lock all the MXF files. You can unlock the MXF files if you need that. And there's some very specific workflows in here that you can read about that if you need that. For these purposes, we don't. Now the P2 flow contextual menu is what I was talking about earlier. It gets installed with the latest version of MXF4mac, which is 1.4. And it has a couple options here. We'll do the import processing options, and it pops up this little menu. And you have a couple little choices here. You can create a bin for each imported P2 contents folder. What that'll do is that when you send it to Final Cut Pro, it'll make a bin that is named just like the folder that it comes from, which might be kind of handy depending on how you organize your footage. And you also have the option to import the P2 metadata labels to Final Cut Pro, and what that will do is send a little P2 metadata label over to the columns within Final Cut Pro. It helps you to discern where all the metadata is going to. You can also map the user clip name to the description column in Final Cut Pro or the name column. I like to use the name column. It's a little easier. Click OK. So that's kind of some preferences. You set that up, and it'll remember it the next time you want to do this. If you change those preferences, the next time you open it up, it will remember the preferences. So it's just like any kind of preferences menu. Now we're going to go to here, and if you notice, here's the P2 contents of all those different folders up here that correspond to all the BCAM folders that are in here. So all of my DVC Pro HD folders. I'm going to choose process all selected items, which means it's just every folder that's in there I want to process it. You hit process all selected items. You'll notice that Final Cut was open in the background there, but if Final Cut is not open, it will open it for you. And now MXF for Qt is doing its thing. It is going through an XML transfer. It is basically telling Final Cut where the video and audio is because, as you know, in P2 the video and audio are stored separately. It is also mapping all the metadata via XML to Final Cut Pro. And you notice that option that I choose before about the bins, which is over here, right here, import processing options to create bin for each P2 contents folder. So that's what I did, and they come up in bins. So now here's all my clips. These are all the user clip names that I've chosen here, and if you'll notice, here's the description. I've kind of set up a little column. I saved a little column thing called MXF4mac P2 metadata, and it'll show you exactly where the metadata is coming in. If I set a scene number, would be here. Take number is all there. Global. I'm sorry, this is the real number, which has to do with the global clip ID. Then here's the program name. So you remember I named it Very Cool Project. So that's all there. So as you build this P2 library, as you shoot P2, and all this stuff will be, on a drive or archive somewhere all the time. As long as you have an MXF aware searchable engine, if you're backing up to LTO tape, Quantum does offer an MXF aware version. All this stuff can become searchable. So if you have, boxes of LTO tapes or, a bunch of SATA drives on the shelf, all of this can be searchable. So as you build your P2 library and you start getting gigabytes and gigabytes of data, all of this metadata will come in handy because you can search by project name, you can search by clip name. If you had the GPS location, you can search by location. You can search by shooter. All of this stuff will come in handy. It'll, you know, even if you're a small shop, a large shop, probably come in real handy for broadcasters, news. All kinds of applications can use this. So if you see here, I got all my clip names and all this stuff comes in. It's all just native DVC Pro HD. I'm going to add this to the clip here. It wants to change it. And I look at it and say yes. And look, it's DVC Pro HD 24p. It's the exact footage that I wanted. So it's all there. And all the different bins have all the different clips in them. And if you notice the foliage 01, remember how I put those two little text memos in there? It even puts the text memos in there. And what those come in as is markers. And you can see here, hopefully you can see this. It says memo ID, which is the first one I put in. And it says person Jeremy, which that's the user that's logged in now. And it says text start here. And then if you go to the next one, it says end here. So it's pretty cool. It's got, you know, some useful logging features if you want to pre-log your footage, or if you have someone logging footage for you, they can kind of put some notes in there, which is pretty cool. And also on some higher end P2 cameras, you can actually punch in a text memo. If you're doing an interview, it was a particularly, you know, poignant comment, you can punch a text memo. You can go ahead and edit that text later within P2 CMS. So it's very helpful. So here we go. The footage is native in there, and I just want to show you. I'm on a laptop here, so it's not like I have a ton of real-time capability. It's not even a real fast laptop. But I'll show you, this is just like editing DVC Pro HD footage. I have a bunch of real-time capability here that I can, you know, move this all around and play it as DVC Pro HD. You notice it went green there. But it's all real time. This is you know, just like editing DVC Pro HD footage. You can do whatever you want with it. It's all real time, and look at that beautiful composition. Isn't that nice? Just kidding. Just wanted to show you that you know, this is all really fast. It's native DVC Pro HD, and pretty cool stuff. So if you're into metadata, and if you're not, you should be, because it's going to help you as you shoot more P2. Just help you stay organized and keep all your footage in order. You don't have to go searching through tapes. You're going to be searching through active live clips. So that's the DVC Pro HD workflow using MXF4QT. Hope that you find this helpful, and if you have any questions, just find me on the P2 or Final Cut Pro forum. Thanks a lot.